How you doing, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. Uh, we're still dibbling with these time slots as we start getting ourselves into our new time slot. I told you guys we're going to kind of settle into 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 6 Pacific. We haven't quite got there yet. Still dealing with this internet fluctuation. But we're still going to make it work today. We're still going to make it work. Make sure that you like and subscribe. We got a lot of good things coming up today because we're supposed to be talking about fintech. What is it and why we have it? So you guys are going to be able to put your insights in on the ideologies of financial technology, which is what we're going to be talking about today, which is the new coin term fintech. So before we get into that, make sure that you guys remember that if you want to get in on the show and talk live and in person, you can always dive in and click that link in the comment section, approve the mic, approve the camera, and then that'll bring you into our green room. If you're over the age of 18, we should be able to approve that you are grown, bring you up onto the show, and then, we'll be able to talk in real time. We'll be able to interact. Able to see each other. So, man, make sure that you got your hair and nails did. I want you to go ahead and get that situated. Outside of that, we are live 7 days a week. We got real quick, I wanted to give you guys a real short announcement. The band that was making our theme song has actually finished it. So I've taken a look at it, and there's a couple of options that I actually wanted to pick through. So I'm working with them to get it up there, and then after we get it up there, then I kind of wanted to go ahead and bring them up onto the show so that we could talk about how awesome their music is and how well it sounds for the show, because they actually made so This and That now has its own exclusive. Rudimus, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see you again. Long time. It's been a long time. So yeah, we was talking about our theme song. We got a theme song. It's going to be putting it into the next, I think the next show. I'm going to be trying to do some editing this afternoon. I know I have to do a product endorsement after the show, but between the two, well, actually I got two products I got to do, but between the two product endorsements and editing our opening trailer and our closing trailer, you're going to see the new theme songs that we got for the show. And I'm going to try to schedule a day to get the creator of the songs onto the show so that we can kind of interview him and talk about some of the things that he has been doing. It is definitely good to see you, my friend. Definitely. Have you been keeping your chess scores up? So before we get into our discussions of fintech and what it is and how it impacts us, well, first of all, I got to finish touching up with my boy Rudis. And then, special shout out to those guys that are on Twitch and Twitter. We got Omni81, Red Void. We've got Liberty Twitcher, Silly Emma. Kind of want to throw those guys a shout out real quick. And then also we want to tap dance around the rest of the folks that are on Twitch, because it has become official for those of you who didn't know, is that TikTok is officially going to be banned in January. There's no going back on that. I don't know what Donald Trump is going to do as far as overturning executive orders, but the ban currently is in full effect. The judge's ruling on that case has dropped the hammer down on that. So unless Donald Trump can pull some strings in the White House, once he gets into the White House, the 19th, between the 19th and the 29th, those of us that are still using TikTok in the United States are probably going to start seeing some interference with our ability to live stream from TikTok. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that you will have interference with being able to upload content to the platform. But being able to live stream, like the United States is severing connection to TikTok. That also does not mean that you're not able to potentially view stuff from the app in the United States, where you're watching stuff that's not being produced in the United States. But if you're a content creator or an online store and you're trying to promote your products through TikTok, you're going to notice that that's going to be a little bit more difficult to do if you wanted your market to be the United States. Now, if you're dealing with it in China or other areas like that, then by all means, make it do what it do. But from the United States, yeah, you're probably going to have a hard way to go. And live streaming is also going to be a difficult situation. So just keep an eye out for that as we get started with our topic. So as I see you guys rolling in, I really appreciate y'all coming. Make sure that you like and subscribe. I want you guys to join me as we deep dive into the world of fintech, and we're going to figure out why everyone is betting big on this. First things first, I want to tell you guys that fintech is short for financial technology, as I mentioned a moment ago. And this is a term that's been thrown around a lot lately, and for good reason. It's changing the way we've been thinking about money, making financial services and more accessible, efficient, and user-friendly resources. From mobile payment apps to investment platforms, fintech is rapidly becoming an integral part of our daily lives. So, financial technology, or fintech, combines technology with financial services to create solutions that streamline processes and improve accessibility and enhance users' experience. This includes everything from mobile banking apps to complex blockchain systems. So, broad applications that fintech covers, which are various sectors such as mobile payments, which include direct deposit from your cell phone, not direct deposit, ATM deposits from your cell phone. Like you can cash your check by taking a picture of it with your cell phone and just drop it right into your bank account inside of your house. You don't even have to go anywhere with it. Online lending, so you can borrow and lend money from different platforms that allows you to do that, peer-to-peer lending platforms. Investment management that allows you to join a plethora of platforms that are now even going into REITs, where you can invest in real estate investment trust, and you can potentially invest into investment platforms that will give you a lot more money than what you've been getting off of other platforms back in the day. It's the best way to put that. You have insurance technologies like InsurTech, where insurance technologies are allowing you to get in touch with your insurance providers and all of the user-friendly services related to insurances and cryptocurrencies. There's also technology that allows you to find a easy or effortless attorney after a crash. You could just get onto an app and put your information down, and then all of a sudden they just streamline you to an attorney that'll take your case instead of you having to play the field and find somebody who's willing to take the case. Have you ever cold called for an attorney before, trying to convince them to take your case? I could tell you right now, having an app that will give you somebody who has no problem with taking your style of case, that is the most effective thing that they have invented in a very long time. Since the whip, I think that's probably the best invention they've created since the whip. So this allows users to perform banking transactions via mobile devices when you're dealing with your mobile banking. And users can check their balances, transfer money, pay bills without visiting the branch, which prevents you from being caught up in a bank robbery. You have the digital payment systems that allow platforms like PayPal, Venmo, and Cash App to enable users to send and receive money electronically. Some of these transactions are able to be done with no fees, where you can send and receive money to your friends and from your friends with no fees, which allows you to give your friend money without having to be next to your friend. This allows you to give your kids an allowance without having being next to your kids. And it makes things faster and more convenient for you. Online lending platforms are allowing services that connect borrowers with lenders, and like I explained to you a moment ago, in peer-to-peer lending platforms. Through these digital platforms, you often are using an algorithm to assess credit worthiness without traditional paperwork. So instead of you having to screen this guy and go off of your own personal judgment or good faith, or their sob story that tugs on the strings of your heart, you just go off of the algorithm that shows exactly how likely they are to pay back the debt and the interest rates involved with the investment, because you can invest in a high risk person and they can actually pay you back, and they'll pay you back with more interest than a person that's a low risk person because of their credit worthiness. So if you're in for the high stakes and you want to bet on somebody who more than likely will stiff you, They pay you back. The one time that they pay you back, you're getting a buttload of money from that person versus the other individuals who not so much so are unreliable. Those people can actually be counted on to get the money back. So the interest rates would be far, far more lower than a person who very rarely pays back or doesn't pay back on time. You have robo advisors. Now, robo advisors are pretty awesome because they're automated platforms in almost all of the financial planning services uh, inside of financial software. So financial technology is going to have a robo advisor somewhere in there, and it's not something that, oh, you got to go to the help desk and a robo advisor will come up and start talking to you instead of talking to a human being. Like, these things are all over the app, giving you advice on how to save, how to advertisement, redirecting you to the platforms, saving and investing situation, membership situations, all this other stuff. But it still gives you financial advice and recommendations on how to save your money and how to put your money in places where in the system of that app where you're not spending as much as you used to spend. It'll shave off on wasteful things. It'll point out and identify, hey, this is entertainment. This isn't fundamental bills. It'll let you know, hey, you are operating above your budget. You have more money going out than you have money coming in, stuff to that effect, which gives you the ability to decide whether or not you're going to shave off some of the things that you're paying for or buy less things from month to month to ensure that you have a better standard of income versus debt, and that also balances you out in the forefront. So with that being said, they use an algorithm to manage the investments based on individual risk preferences, which you can set those preferences on those apps when you're dealing with investment stocks. But when you're dealing with banking, the algorithm is going to decide, you're going to decide whether or not you want to focus on saving, whether you want to focus on investing, or whether you just want to make sure that you got enough money to not overdraw your bank accounts. And the robo advisor will work to your advantage. You have blockchain technology, which is going to use underpins cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it offers secure transaction methods through decentralized ledgers. Where we told you guys before when we did the discussion on Bitcoin in, I think, March and April, that those are nano technology that is detached from the local network that has a core function to process the proper transactions and the rules with trading. And that's how your algorithm is developed with buying and selling on cryptocurrency from its fundamental source. Now you have crowdfunding platforms, which are websites like Kickstarter and GoFundMe's that allows individuals or businesses to raise money, and these funds are going to come from large numbers of people, which is called crowdsourcing via the internet. So as I mentioned to you guys before, the InsurTech is technology innovation that improves the insurance sector, where the customer experience and streamlined processes allows for automated claim processing, which helps a lot. You've been in a car crash, you could take photos of your car, you can upload it to the app, you can take screenshots of your medical bills, days lost from work, you can take screenshots of doctors' excuses and stuff to that effect and upload that to the, so you don't have to wait for an adjuster to come to your house. You can literally assess your own car and just send it to the insurance company, and then all they have to do is just probably get on a 5 or 10-second video call and then have you show them what the car looks like in real time so that they can confirm that the photos match the current car that's involved in the claim, because there is going to be a little bit of human involvement to make sure that it isn't a scam. But beyond that, you're looking at, like, yeah, instead of waiting on somebody to come knock on your door at the most inconvenient time and try to assess your car, and then based on their attitude downplay you on the assessment of your car, you got an algorithm that'll run the assessment based on the value of the car, the standard estimations of the quantities of repair, the new law that was passed to get rid of all of the clunkers off of the road that says that if the damage of the vehicle exceeds a certain percentage of the value of the car, that it's automatically totaled, even if the car could be fixed. So if your car is not worth enough money, a very deep scratch in the paint job could total out the car because they're removing all of the cars off of the road. So you got to be careful with your car these days. They have reg tech, which is regular technology that helps companies comply with regulations effectively through software solutions, such as payroll, making sure that y'all not working too long. Think about it. You have benefits of fintech that are increasing accessibility, where fintech solutions are making financial services more accessible to underserved populations who may not have traditional banking options. You have the cost efficiency that reduces costs associated with traditional banking through automation and streamlined processes. Notice how some of the banks are charging you a transaction fee just for going and talking to the teller. You have enhanced user experiences that providers receive, user-friendly interfaces, and personalized services that cater to individual needs. Now, I can tell you that when they say user-friendly, it's not as user-friendly as you want it to be. It's not like a point and click. However, there are a lot of pictures involved and everything is kind of pre-categorized. So if you are familiar with the system, there is a small learning curve involved with it. If you're familiar with the system, everything is easy to find and it's easy for you to navigate the system once you get used to it. But on first glance, it is still a little bit challenging, but it's a lot less challenging than negotiating with a person. Just going to be honest with you. People are going to be their own demise, which is why machines is going to take over. You have faster transactions, which enables quicker processing times for payments, loans, and other financial activities. You can also look at things like instant transfers, instant wire transfers. You can transfer small amounts of money that is approved by both sides, where the money will be automatically reflective upon the account that's receiving the money, as opposed to waiting the 3 to 5 business days for the transfer to occur. You have some challenges, though, because nothing is perfect. So fintech has challenges like regulatory compliance. Navigating complex regulations can be challenging for fintech companies. Data security. You are putting all of your information, all of your personal information in the accessibility of the user face and the service that you're benefiting from with the technology. So protecting sensitive financial data from breaches is a critical issue that people have to be concerned with, because take like the mobile wallet. The mobile wallet is an app on the cell phone that stores all of your credit card information from every single credit card that you have. It allows you to walk around with 35 or 40 credit cards on your cell phone instead of in your wallet, which makes your wallet thinner. Probably more beneficial for some guys, especially the young generation that thinks that it's cool to have the little gadget tech wallets that you can kind of push a button and it pops up like a cigarette. But you got to think about the fact that since your cell phone has all of your credit cards on it, if something happens to your cell phone, then something happens to all of your credit cards. So if your battery dies, you can't use your cell phone to make payments anymore. But if your phone gets stolen, now the person who stole your phone has access to all of your banking information. You have the cell phone cloning thing that people have been doing, where they are within a reasonable range of your cell phone. And if you don't have the right settings turned off, then you could instantly share your data from your cell phone unknowingly to an individual in the reasonable vicinity of you. That person doesn't even have to be communicating with you. It could be standing behind you in a Starbucks line, scanning your phone so that he can get all the credit card information off of your phone. So you got to be careful with putting all of your information online and where you put it up online. There's also marketing competition, because the rapid growth of fintech has led to increased competition among startups and traditional financial institutions, which is one of the reasons why there are so many countries. We talked about Dubai, Brazil, and Romania so far that are having high incentives for fintech investments. And I do believe the United States has some incentives and rebates and potential tax deductions for investing in renewable energy, as well as investing in technology, but fintech specific was Dubai and Brazil. So you want to take a look at those things. Now, if you remember, our traditional banking system has been around for centuries. And you got to understand, you got to face this fact. They're often slow. They're also very cumbersome and inefficient. You go to the bank, you're 2 to 4 hours in the bank just so that they can take care of 5 people. They're like, oh, we want to give you the best customer service possible. But you've only got 2 employees in the whole building, and those 2 employees are talking to 2 people. You've got 12 other people or 30 other people in the building that are not taking care of customers. You've only got 2 people taking care of customers. You've got a line of people sitting over here grouped up in the lounge space where you typically only have 2 or 3 couches there that can only hold about 8 people total. And you got all these people just standing there waiting on help. But you're trying to give us the best quality possible. You should be doing a one-to-one system where you have like 10 offices in there, where you're knocking out 10 people every 30 minutes, where you should not have a line of 30 people in there in any given half hour. But banks don't do that because people don't need banks that often. So they end up maximizing their efforts by minimizing their accessibility to first come, first serve, and then a manager might come up and take a third person and kind of try to speed things up a little bit, but it's better to do it online. Most of the time, I've said it plenty of times that I really don't like communicating with customer service when they are rude and disrespectful and uncaring towards your needs. But I've also come to find out that some automated systems that are startups to automated systems really give you the runaround with the automated system. Have you ever had that happen where you called in, you really just wanted to do one thing, and you have to type in 35 different numbers? If you want to go here, press 1. If you want to go here, press 2. And that just keeps happening for 45 minutes. And then you finally end up on the call with a real person. I feel like some of the times that they just do that to keep you occupied until a real person jumps up on the phone. Either way, as soon as I get on the phone, I tell them, hey, your automated system sucks. It is defective as all but Jesus. I've been getting run around on this automated system for like 35 minutes now, just so that I can get to a real person, because all I needed to do was this identity right here, this activity right here. Oh, well, I could put you back to, no, you don't put me back on on the automated system, because I'm not going through that runaround again, because some runarounds have the defects. You've ever talked to one of those automated systems where they tell you to push a button, you push the button, but it doesn't recognize the button press, so you're just stuck? Yeah. That's one of them situations where it's like, I'm just gonna hang up and call back another day when the automated system's no longer under the weather, so that I can get my stuff done. But yeah, they've built on outdated infrastructures, the bank situation is, and making it difficult for them to keep up with the rapidly changing financial landscapes. Because I mean, most of us are living a fast-paced life. No matter how much we automate our life, we still overstock our life with so much stuff that we claim that we want to be involved in or seen doing, to the magnitude that we don't have enough time to wait on somebody else to count our money for us. We'll just tell them how much it is and just expect them to take our word for it. But with so much deceit in modern times, you can't take somebody's word for it. You've got to recount it twice to make sure that they counted it right and that you counted it right too. So the need for innovative financial technology solutions has never been more pressing. And with the rise of digital economy, people are looking for faster, more convenient, and more personalized financial services. Not to mention, when you think about the fact that you can nowadays with fintech, you are able to get into banking using online banking, where you can start up a bank account in any area of the country, any of the world, really, if you have accessibility to the internet and you know what site you want to go to. You can log into a banking institution, or a credit union institution, put your personal information down, potentially wire transfer some money to that financial institution, and then guess what? Now you've got a bank account with them. You don't have to drive down to the bank, fill out a bunch of papers, nothing like that. If there's something they want you to sign, they mail it to your address, your mailing address, whether it's your house or your post office box, which, by the way, you can add your post office box onto your identification where you have two forms of mailing information on your driver's license. I don't recommend it. I just keep the one individual physical address on your driver's license, then register your vehicle to a post office box and tell them if they don't like it, kick rocks. Because the mailing address on your vehicle needs to be the place that you receive mail in case they decide to mail you a ticket or updated registration on your vehicle or stuff to that effect. Doesn't necessarily have to be the physical address of your house. So if your vehicle is registered to a post office box, they can't make you change that information. Because if they ask you, well, why is your information not the same? Because you can't put a post office box on your driver's license, and all of the mail that goes to the car goes to the post office box. That's why it's there. However, you are not required to answer that question. So leading down a whole nother set of rabbit holes. Traditional banks are struggling to meet the demands, and that's where fintech's going to come in. So the cost of maintaining brick and mortar branches combined with the burden of regulatory compliance is a significant challenge for the traditional banks, not to mention the lack of investment in digital infrastructure, which makes it difficult for them to scale efficiently. As a result, they're often unable to offer the kind of personalized service that customers are looking for, which is nice, respectful, fast. Those are the three things that we're looking for in customer service, and efficiently resolving my issue in the least amount of time possible. Those are the four things that we're looking for. We don't always get that. Fintech companies, on the other hand, are agile, lean, and focused on providing innovative solutions to meet the evolving needs of customers, such as overnight banking, overnight wire transfers, overnight purchases and sales, business in other countries, transactions across the world. These are things that aren't really regularly done by your bank. They're able to offer lower fees and faster processing times and more seamless user experience. So the inefficiencies of traditional banking systems are further compounded by their outdated business models. They're often focused on generating revenue through unnecessary fees. Like I told you before, you have to pay a fee to talk to the teller, or you can put the money into the ATM machine. Well, I mean, if that's the case, I don't want to talk to you because you cost money for a conversation. We already have too many situations as men where we have to spend money to talk to somebody. We don't really want to spend money to talk to you so that we can deposit our money into the bank account. You know, there's a lot of things that we need to save a buck on here and there. So they're often focused on generating revenue through these unnecessary fees rather than providing the value to their customers. And this has led to a breakdown in trust between banks and their customers, because you've got hidden fees, you've got standard fees, you got all kinds of stuff going on, making it difficult for them to attract and retain new clients. Now, fintech companies, on the other hand, are focused on building strong relationships with their customers, providing them with personalized services that meet their unique needs. Examples of popular fintech companies. And when I give you these lists, you're going to be like, holy crap. The PayPal is a fintech company. It's a pioneer in digital payments that allows users to send money online securely. And that one is actually being offset by Cash App, that is more widely used by the new generation. One, because you don't have transactional tracking. It's an off the grid network, so getting audited there is going to be pretty hard to do. But the fact is that while that's it's untracked transactions that allows people to perform money laundering style scenarios or criminal activities without being tracked. The problem with Cash App is that if you send the money to the wrong person, you can't recover it. If you can't log in, you lose all of your money. If certain things happen, you can't talk to anybody to do a claim or a dispute on a transaction, it's just money lost. You got to charge it to the gate. So, Max is back. What's going on, Max? So Robinhood is another one of those fintech companies, and an investment platform that offers a commission-free trading for stocks and cryptocurrencies, but it also does charge transactional fees for the actual trade. It doesn't charge you commission, but it just charges you a service fee for buying and selling on the platform. And one of the things you're doing with some of those platforms is one of the things you're doing on those platforms is putting enough money into the transaction so that when a trade occurs, the profits that you make offset the service fees, even though they're not getting an actual commission. Now, when you're using a real-time broker, the brokers usually get a commission off the profits that they earn you, and that turns into their paycheck, which allows them to have an incentive to get you the best deal possible because they're going to get a cut of the profits. You don't have to deal with that with automation. Chime is another one of those fintech companies, a neobank offering no-fee banking services with features like early direct deposit. An early direct deposit is just them giving you an available balance in equivalent to the recognized oncoming direct deposit amount. So if they recognize that you've got money coming, instead of them waiting until the money actually settles into your account, they will clear the incoming money for your account in advance, which allows you to be able to have accessibility to your money faster. Companies like Clio, which is a credit building app, is another fintech company that allows you to utilize the money you haven't spent yet as a level of credit, a line of credit that has no credit utilization, which allows you to boost your credit score dramatically. But it also reports to the three major credit agencies. They're not bureaus, it's three major credit agencies that allows them to improve your credit score by on-time transactions, a history of on-time transactions, which is something that you need. You need a lot of reporting to the three major credit bureaus to say, hey, this person pays on time. This person pays often on time. There's a lot of things this guy going on, and no matter how much he's spending, he's paying everything off on time. And that actually boosts your credit. Now, one of the things that we've noticed is that it's starting to get more difficult to find the right platforms to use. For example, you've got platforms like Coinbase, which is a leading platform for buying, selling, and managing cryptocurrencies. We've got Buttermint, is a robo-advisor that provides automated investment management services. We are looking at a saturation of online platforms. Like I told you before, there are online platforms like what is it? I think it's Lenivo, not Lenivo. The Lenivo is Lander is what it is. And Lander was an app that allows you to invest in a REIT. My buddy is using another app that allows him to invest in a REIT, but he's investing in the REIT with the perceived 20% interest rate. But each one of these apps have fees. Either uploading, they typically don't charge you the uploading fees. Sometimes they waive the uploading fees, but then they charge you a downloading fee, so that if you're trying to take your money back, you got to pay a fee to get your money back, regardless of how much money you made in interest. You got to pay a certain fee to get your money back. So if you want to cash out, you've got to make sure that you make a large enough surplus of money so that when you cash out, the amount of money that they take out of your pocket is less than the amount of money that you made as a profit, because otherwise you would just be breaking even. And that's something that you don't want to do. Now, the payment solution sector within fintech is perhaps one of the most well-known, with companies like PayPal, Venmo, Lending, and the Charge. I don't know who those are, but many other areas with fintech are just as exciting, such as lending platforms, investment apps, and digital wallets. So these companies are, and digital wallets are like Google Pay, Apple Pay, Amazon Pay, not Amazon Pay. what did I say? I said Google Pay, Apple Pay, Samsung Pay. That's the one. I got a Samsung. That should have been the first one on the list. I saved the best for last. So these companies are making it possible for people to access financial services that were previously inaccessible or simply not available. Take investment apps, for example. They are allowing people to invest in stock market with just a few taps on their phone. No longer do you need to have thousands of dollars to start investing or understand complex financial jargon. The apps are, thank you, I appreciate that. The apps are democratize access to, which, why don't they just say like microtransactions? I don't know. They are reducing the financial market, the size of the financial market's access to large increments, which makes it possible for anyone to start building wealth. And basically, the long and the short of that paragraph was, instead of you having to show up with 10 or 20 or $30,000 to invest in something to say that you're going to make a little bit of cash, they have micro investments, microtransactions, not transactional, fractional investing. That's what it's called. And what happens is that you put a little bit of money up on the app puts your money into a trading platform, and then you're able to make a little bit of money off of the overall. You may even have like a pre-built portfolio where the ups and downs of the portfolio still put you at some type of a gain. You're not even noticing the losses that you made because the gains outweigh the losses. So if you get a little bit of money here or a lot of bit of money over there, you're not experiencing any overall zero or negative situations, but you're looking at like a 50% increase one time, 75% increase another time, 5% increase another time, but that's offsetting a 95% dip. You're not paying attention to that part. So you don't need to understand the ups and downs, which actually takes the stress out of investing, because instead of you sitting there dwelling on how much money you didn't make, you're just paying attention to the amount of money that you did make. Lending platforms are another area where fintech, I've explained to you before, is causing a stir. They're providing access to credit cards for people who were previously underserved or simply didn't have access to traditional banking services. You're able to get online credit cards. You're able to get online lines of credit. Even if you don't get the actual card, you actually have a digital card where you can make purchases online exclusively. But some have lines of credit in certain stores or certain vendors where they provide you with a line of credit to shop at their particular location, which if you shop in a place like that often, that makes it beneficial for you. So instead of you grabbing a bunch of things at one time, you typically just go over there and get instead of getting one thing at a time, you could typically go over there and get a bunch of things at one time and then make monthly payments on it instead of trying to pay for it all at once. So this has opened up new opportunities for people to start businesses or simply improve their financial well-being. Digital wallets are also becoming increasingly popular, allowing people to store their payment information securely and make transactions with ease. And the digital wallets are not just on the cell phones. They have digital wallets on your computer or laptop as well, your tablet. So if you're trying to make a purchase, instead of having to get up out of the chair, which reduces your impulse buying, and go and look for your wallet or your purse and then try to find the credit card that has money on it so that you can go back and try to make that payment, then you got to sit there and type all the information in. And and then if you're doing this in the middle of the night, you got to turn on a light because you can't see the credit card, because some credit cards don't have the appropriate print on the card for you to see the numbers on the card in the dark. So all of this stuff leads to you not wanting to make the purchase. So fintech helps with business because it encourages the impulse buyer, because if they want it, all they got to do is just click on the buy now button and it'll automatically charge the credit card that is saved on the computer. Now, downside to that is if you've got kids that have access to the computer, the same computer, or if for some reason, because a lot of children's gaming accounts requires the parent to put a debit or credit card on file in case of online purchasing, just so that the kid could play the free version. But guess what that does? It opens the Pandora's box, because now the kid can just click a button and just buy all kinds of random stuff and not really pay attention to how many times he's clicking that button. He's getting all kinds of goodies. And then when the bill comes in, he just spent $5,000 on Fortnite. So there's and that has really happened. But these are the things that people are benefiting and negatively impacted from by fintech technologies. So they're removing the need for physical cards and making it possible for people to make transactions online or in store with just a few taps of their phone. And if you have an Alexa or Cortana or Siri or Bixby, or I can't think of all of the different AIs where you could just say, hey, Google or something like that, order X, Y, and Z off of Amazon, and then it's going to talk back to you and say, making the order or something to that effect. And then all of a sudden you just started buying stuff. I got to tell you, that works until you have people in your house that have authorization to make that type of request. And then your kids start ordering stuff just by shouting at Alexa, say, hey, buy a telescope, or buy the new PlayStation 6 with the pre-order the Grand Theft Auto 6 or something like that. Pre-order the iPhone 2024 or whatever the case may be. And now the parents' credit card is being charged for outrageous amounts of money because the kids can just talk into the app and just buy stuff. It's crazy. So why is everyone betting big on fintech? Well, it's because fintech companies are focused on providing accessibility, efficiency, and seamless user experiences, in addition to the incentives from certain countries that are going to give you discount or rebates on your taxes, or allow you more investment opportunities if you're investing in these companies. So it makes you a bigger profit to encourage for the development of these fintech companies. They're making financial services more inclusive, meaning that they're going to reach the further, because you've ever been in a situation where you didn't have a bank in your neighborhood. Now you got to travel a long distance. Some people 20, 30 minutes is a long distance. Some people 4 hours is a short distance, but you got to travel really far in comparison to your normal travel to get to the bank or branch that you wanted to do business with. Well, with fintech, financial technologies, you're more inclusive. You can bank with East Coast banks from the West Coast because you have financial technologies online. And this provides people with the tools they need to take control of their financial lives. The trends that are driving the growth of fintech are clear. It's about providing people with more control, more convenience, and more access to financial services. It's about building trust and providing value to customers rather than simply generating revenue through fees. Fintech is revolutionizing the financial landscape by leveraging technology to enhance service delivery across various sectors. As it continues to evolve, fintech will likely play an increasingly significant role in shaping how individuals and businesses manage their financial success, making it essential for stakeholders in the industry to stay informed about emerging trends and technologies. From payment solutions to lending platforms and investment apps, fintech is rapidly becoming an integral part of our daily lives. One of the things that I want to throw in there real quick is that because you are able to micromanage your financial investments, fintech gives you the ability to look at your stocks, bonds, cryptocurrency, and real estate investment trusts in real time, so much so that you can know the moment to moment changes in your investments faster than you can update your social media status. And that allows you to micromanage and reduce loss and increase gains based on observed and known market trends. If you start seeing a dip in the market, you can just pull out now and then or yeah, you could pull out now and then wait until it starts to go back up, and then you can buy back in once it reaches its bottom end, which allows you to prevent from losing all of the interest gained on that particular stock value. So there's a lot of things that you can do with that. You guys should definitely check that out. If you've got any input that you want to put in on financial technology, you can always throw that into our comment section. If you've got any ideas that you want to run through my attention so that we can try to get a show about that. If we're going to do some digging, do some research, and try to figure out how we can help you understand whatever the topic or concept is, as long as it's an appropriate one, make sure that you throw that information in the comments down below also. Another thing I want to do is remind you guys that we are live 7 days a week, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 5 Pacific. So we greatly appreciate you guys. Make sure that you guys remember to throw us some donations, give us some the now YouTube gems that they got going on with the YouTube gifts, in addition to the special likes, special comments, special emojis, and just a special thanks where you can just throw us a little something here and there because you appreciate the knowledge and information that we provide to you. So don't forget to leave any of the comments that you have down below, and make sure that if you want to learn more about any of the transformative innovative technologies related to fintech, that you give us a call. We have different topics throughout the week. We've got some relationship topics towards the end of the week. We have our members only show on Sundays. We have other business and finance topics Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We have some guest stars coming up on to the show throughout the weeks as time goes on. I actually have to touch base with a couple of the branded content vendors that I wanted to do business with. So we've got to work these things out. And as we get things set up, you guys will be able to see and experience a better platform. So just make sure that you guys show us some love throughout the days, weeks, and years to come, because you guys are going to have a heck of a lot more accessibility to the knowledge that is once considered common knowledge. It will go back to being common knowledge, because I'm going to talk about it here today, or on this show on one day, because here on This, That, and Everything in Between, we talk about this, that, and everything in between. With that being said, I want to thank you guys. Remember to come and watch us tomorrow night, because we're live every night. We are now going to be trying to settle into about 10 Eastern, 9 Central, 6 Pacific. So we did start later today than what we had anticipated. We usually do that because we have this issue with the internet scenario where we are right now, because even though they fix a tower, the internet still sucks. So we're still working on a relocation situation. We've got the agents on a line. We're going to be trying to balance the books and make sure that we get that transition occurring. And then once we get settled into another location that doesn't have so much detrimental effects with connectivity, you should see the maximum quantity of ultra high 5G Wi-Fi service until we can get the landlines, the fiber optic landlines from T-Mobile Technologies. So really appreciate you guys for coming to the show. Ladies, I always tell you guys on my way out the door, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking you ladies to make it make sense. So please, ladies, make it make sense. Fellas, I want to thank you guys again. Special shout out to Max Opposer, formerly known as Lucas Opposer. Also, special thanks to Omni81, Red Void, Reese Martinez. I can't think of everybody off the top of my head. There's like 30 of them. You guys see them throughout the show. Actually, I'm going to put the special thanks up on our closing outro. And I'm going to go and work on the new intro and outros based on the custom song that was just made for the show just yesterday. As a matter of fact, just received it yesterday. So you're going to be seeing new intros and outros for the show coming up soon. I'm probably going to keep some of the imagery, but I'm going to put the whole song up there because I think it's freaking awesome. It actually represents what we're trying to do here on the podcast. So I really like the song. So if you want information as to where to get the song from, make sure you reach out to us during the show and we'll be able to tell you where to go, because we're going to get the creator of the song onto the show. We just got to schedule that stuff up. That's all I have for you guys for today. Thank you for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we're talking about this, that, and everything in between. I'll see you guys tomorrow night.